Welcome, Eurydice. Please make yourself comfortable. It's not often I invite souls for these conversations.
Thank you, my queen. I must admit, it feels rather strange to speak so freely after all this time.
I imagine it does. Tell me, how does it feel being primarily known through someone else's quest? The world remembers Orpheus's journey, his battle to save you from this place. But has anyone truly asked about your experience?
I'm afraid it isn't often the main topic of conversation, no. I'm forever the bride who died on her wedding day, the prize that Orpheus almost won back from the Underworld. My story begins and ends with him, or at least as far as the living are concerned.
And you don't think it's fair? That it's not at all like the tale the living know?
I mean, not entirely, no. They speak of how I fled from the shepherd and stepped on a viper hidden in the grass, dying before my marriage ever truly began, but no one ever thinks to mention what I felt in those moments. The pain, disbelief, the fear that consumed me as I called out Orpheus's name while the darkness engulfed me.
I remember when you arrived. So many new souls are disoriented. I mean, it's only natural given the circumstances, but you seemed almost resigned.
I was. Death comes to all mortals, I understand that. Mine simply arrived sooner than expected. However, what I wasn't prepared for was his arrival here. His voice as it echoed through the halls. I feared I was going mad, even after death.
Ah yes, Orpheus. Even my husband, who has heard countless desperate pleas over millennia, was moved. Which is a truly fascinating feat. Tell me, my dear, what was it like, hearing him sing for you, I mean?
His music, his voice, his song, it was unlike anything any of these realms had ever heard before, ever known. When I heard his voice that lit up the darkness, I felt myself being pulled back towards him, like the tide to the moon. These walls of darkness around me, they wept, even those who had long since forgotten what tears were. He sang of our love and our joy that brief, the emptiness of his world without me.
It moved us all. It's what convinced me to advocate for your return.
You did what?
You think my husband makes decisions alone? That is humorous, my dear. I know a little something about being taken to the underworld myself. Being separated from love. There needed to be a test.
The condition. The condition of not looking back.
Yes. We needed to know that his trust was as strong as his love. More often than not, they are not equal.
I never truly blamed him for looking back, you know. Part of me always wanted to, but I just couldn't.
Truly? Most would.
How could I? We were nearly at the surface. I could feel the warmth of daylight ahead. It all happened so fast, that unbearable, sickening silence of his music stopping. I knew what had happened before he even turned around. It was too cruel of an ask. It was too cruel to ask anyone with a heart to walk forward in faith without certainty.
What did you feel when he turned?
Relief, strangely enough. And heartbreak. I was being pulled back into the darkness even as I stretched my hands towards him. I called out that it wasn't his fault, but I never found out if he heard me. Those stupid poets never mention that part.
They rarely get the details right.
I watched him as he tried to grasp at the smoke, at me as I faded. That moment replays in my mind, his desperate face mixed with my own resignation. And in the blink of an eye, I was back here, and he was denied crossing again.
He tried to return, you know. The ferryman refused him.
I know. And he spent months in mourning, charming tigers and making oak trees follow him with his songs. Did you hear what happened to him? Afterwards, I mean.
Yeah. The Maenads, followers of Dionysus, tore him apart for spurring their advances. Even in death, he called your name as his head floated down the Hebrus River.
And yet we never reunited. Not even here. Yet another cruel test of fate.
No. Some souls choose a different path in the afterlife. Orpheus chose to wander, still singing, forever punishing himself for his mistake.
Perhaps it's for the best. Our story ended twice already. What would another third beginning bring, save for another ending?
You've gained wisdom here in your time. Many souls cling to what they've lost.
The living remember us as this great tragic love story. But they miss the point entirely.
Which is?
That love isn't meant to be measured by some grand gestures or heroic quests. It should be measured by trust. Had Orpheus trusted both you and me, trusted that I was truly behind him, we might have had our second chance. But that is nothing if not the shadow of love. Always following, just a step behind.
As queen here, I've witnessed countless reunions and separations. What would you tell the living about love and loss, if they could hear you?
I guess I would tell them that looking back is human. That we all do it. But sometimes the very act of trying to confirm what we fear we've lost only ensures we lose it. Had Orpheus simply walked forward with faith, perhaps we would have been different.
And what of your snakebite? Your untimely death? Do you resent the fates for that?
I mean, no more than the flower resents the winter. My time, though brief, was full of love. Love that had an intensity that very few will ever know. Orpheus carried my name to the stars, and in that way I never truly died. It's an immortality in my own right.
Spring approaches above. Soon I'll return to the world of light for a time.
And will you tell them our story? The true one, I mean.
I'll plant seeds of it in their dreams, allow them to bloom with time.
Thank you, my queen, for this conversation and your advocacy back then. For everything, truly.
Rest well, Eurydice. Your story isn't over yet. No story ever truly is down here.